Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Antisocial Frathouse podcast. I'm here with Sheo
So,
and JJ.
Hey, I have cancer now.
And so today we decided we'd do some live commentary over a game. So what you're seeing right now is all technically live compared to our audio. And so when we start getting kind of angry because what's going on in game, that will be why. Um,
Wait, when we start to, I'm already there.
oh,
It's Iron Banner. I don't want to be here.
yeah, for those that don't play Destiny, Iron Banner is a very sweaty game mode, and it can be some of the worst shit ever. Purely because this number right here, this number is our power, and that actually matters in this game mode, a player v player thing, and so because my power is higher than Sheo's and Midnight's, it's if I was to go up against them, which I won't, I'm on their team, uh, they would be feeling a huge difference in power per se. I'd be doing more damage to them, and they'd be doing less to me.
I'm a wet noodle.
Yeah.
I'm a heavy wet noodle.
But anyways, this episode might be very improvised too, with just some of the shit that we might say and do and everything. Not a lot was planned beforehand. I don't know if I should have admitted to that, but
Well, we missed a week because we had lack of ideas, so...
Well, it wasn't a lack of ideas.
It wasn't even... No, like, actually, like, it wasn't even the lack of ideas. We probably could have come up with something or done this earlier. It was purely that I didn't have the time. I was being over fucking worked. And every time I got home, it was like 4 a.m. And I was just like, I need to sleep before I go back to work.
And I'm just like, yeah, no. This has been hell week for me too. No.
I just didn't feel inspired, and y'all were drained, so I knew it was going to be a drag.
It's just a bad week in general for us, so we just didn't make anything. And we didn't say anything about it either, purely because we knew that we could just say something about it in the next podcast. And now we're here, so...
And our fan base is non-existent, so they wouldn't have noticed anyways.
Oh, that's true. Like, the only thing that would have been affected is our YouTube algorithm status, and even then, when we're only uploading maximum once every week, it's not looking too good there, Chief.
Yeah.
Dude, why is it actually taking so long to get into a game of Iron Banner?
I have no clue. I was shocked as well.
Weird.
Told you. This is not going to be a fun time.
Everyone's in fucking Seraph Towers right now.
Increase the parameters for the skill-based matchmaking in this.
God.
Like in just this search instance, because after a while it goes beyond what the average, like the initial bracket of skill range is, and it just keeps going and going until it finds people.
Oof.
Lord have mercy.
Yep.
I mean, they can always back out and rejoin and hope it goes faster.
We're at what, 10 people right now?
Yeah, we're at 10
Nah,
out of 12.
we'll stick it. We'll stick it through unless we're here for like another 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Either that or we can go into comp and just insta-queue.
That's true. But comp is also more sweaty, so...
Hey, one more.
It's more sweaty even though power is disabled, so... You know,
Yeah.
it's here and there.
Second only to Trials of Meme Cyrus.
Well, it's not sweaty in trials, it's just you have to hope you don't get kicked offline.
And cancer. Lots and lots of cancer.
That's why it's Meme Cyrus.
But anyways, who would like to go over their shitty last week and why it was shit first?
Nose goes.
Nose goes.
Oh no. I think I can be summed up to just entitled assholes walking into my fucking store demanding shit we don't have and getting upset when I told them, no, we don't have it. That pretty much sums it up. Granted, yesterday found a scorpion in one of the trailers. And I live
Nice.
in North Carolina. They don't exist up here. At least they shouldn't. But
Well, that's interesting because when I lived in Austin, there was we used to get a lot of scorpions, and I was told later on that for whatever reason they like heavily treed areas, so like they like to kind of hide in trees too.
yeah.
So
I
it
don't know.
it would
Ours
seem
is
that
hiding in a Pine Needle trailer, so
hmm
yeah. I don't
um so Sheo,
know.
would you like to go next?
I didn't really have a shitty week, other than the fact that I spent like 6 hours going and editing that Frathouse Friday episode.
Oh yeah.
It's fire,
You
by the
said
way. Y'all should go check it
Thank
out.
you.
Oh god, I just had a fucking thing pop up on my screen.
mm,
Bruh.
Seriously though, if y'all haven't seen that episode of Frat House Fridays on Sheo's channel, go check it out. It was a nice surprise, if I'm
yeah.
honest.
I don't know. I think it needs more memes.
Well, the second part's gonna come out, oh shit. Second part's gonna be out, this Friday. Because there was so much that I had left over after I did the first 20 minutes, and that I was just like, well, guess I'm gonna go split this up into more parts, because it was taking forever.
So,
Yeah.
is it Frat House Fridays or is it Fridays with the Frat?
I don't think it really matters at this point, we just say it, it's whatever it is.
That's fair. I mean, while true, we do just kind of go with the flow and say it's one or the other. Um, I realized how badly this was going and switched to a controller right here, so
Yeah.
that's why
Not really
on
that bad. I mean, I'm third on the leaderboard
well,
somehow.
I'm doing absolutely shit and have only landed like maybe 2 out of my 50 shots that I've taken, so
Well, you need to get better with mouse and keyboard. Is your problem?
I probably need
Here.
to lower the sensitivity on my mouse too, but that's besides the
Yeah.
point.
Eh. Oh well. Ace, why was your week shit?
I keep fucking getting
Okay,
pinged.
boys, are you fucking ready for this? Are you fucking ready for this?
No.
No? Good.
Uh,
I wasn't either.
Mm. I
Alright,
should really have Discord
so
suppression thing on. Otherwise, you're gonna have me clicking in the background the whole time.
I mean, we did the last podcast.
This is true, but this is like more intense because I'm like actually mashing buttons and panic firing constantly.
While true, um,
Oh well.
yeah, it's just one of those oh well situations. So my week was absolutely shit because work. We're just gonna say that off the bat. There's only so much that I can get into, but I will try to get into as much as I can, if that makes sense at all. So basically, every night, because I'm the night shift manager, there's of course a list of things that I need to get done every night, and so I will be there for a while. One of the things that can elongate said nightly duties is if I have to send out my drivers really late on runs to the point where they're coming back in around like midnight, and I am therefore having to get all my manager duties done and clean the whole store by myself because I'm the only one in store. Now that happened to me practically all week, and because how busy our week was becoming, it was another nightly duty that I can get into is that I have to print out all the future orders that we have for the next shift beforehand. And since we were getting like practically 150 orders minimum for the next day every day, and I wasn't printing any out for like future days other than the next day, it was causing me such an issue because I was sitting there for an extra 2 to 3 hours just printing out orders, folding the gift messages, aligning everything, organizing them by the hour that they're in, and then I could finally go home. And so the earliest I got out that week from work was probably 1 a.m. But like also for the past like 3 weeks, the earliest that I'd gotten out was like midnight. So I was already on edge about the earliest being midnight, and then when the latest became like after 3 a.m., I was pissed. So it was already really bad. Then Mother's Day hit, and that was an absolute atrocity because they I might I can't say who told me this, but someone basically came out to me and said that they took more orders than they were supposed to, and it was going to result in us getting kind of fucked. And that's kind of exactly what happened, because to put this into a quick, like, Spark Notes version of what actually happened, we were busy all day. Around 6:30, realized how many orders were actually coming in for 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. windows, and I was thinking that I could have gone home around that time until I realized this. With this realization coming through, I counted 32 orders, and we only had 2 drivers, and our zone is fucking huge. So it just, none of that worked out. And one thing led to another. I didn't leave work until 9:45 at night, 9:45 p.m., and I got there at 3:40 in the morning. So I pulled a good old 18-hour shift, and that shit was not fun. By the end of it, I just wanted to sleep, and so I spent a whole day of sleeping before I had to go back to work.
Bruh, how does it? I like hit the striker 3 times and he then just did the smash down once and killed me. How does that work?
Not sure. TBH.
It's all that
Yeah.
hard to get.
Well, and also he's rocking over 1,000.
Makes sense.
I literally hate how I'm getting into like firefights that I should win, but I'm losing literally just because that tiny debuff gives them a little extra health.
Yeah.
It's not even a little extra health, it's just you're doing a little less damage.
Or, yeah.
But like,
Well,
even
I think
still,
giving them a
it's
little extra.
it's
All I'm saying is that I'm upset that I am the highest on the leaderboard at the moment.
that's
Yeah.
because I decided to switch halfway through the game to the option that I'm better at using. And so I'm now making up for like the 13 deaths that I've had.
Mm.
I'm also using a hand cannon on a map that has some lanes.
I'm
Yeah,
using
I've been doing
side.
fine with my Grimace Dagger.
Yeah,
I
but
need a
yours has
secondary.
range, mine doesn't.
Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, I need a secondary that has like the ability to do long range damage because I'm using Rat King.
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Don't.
Yeah, the little buff, well, nerf for me and all that because my item level actually kind of just pisses me off that that's a thing.
What pisses me off is that they all pop their supers and are now about to win.
Yep.
Just because they all pop their fucking supers trying to hunt.
Yep.
Sounds like Crucible.
Yep.
No, it sounds like Iron Banner.
Same difference.
No. Iron Banner's far more worse than just regular Crucible.
If you say so.
Mm-hmm.
I know so.
Oh, Lord. Here we go again.
Yep.
So, other than shit weeks at work and all that, What else have you guys been up to?
I
Cause
got my RTX 2080 Super in just the other day.
nice. Have you
I
actually
haven't yet
installed it?
installed it.
Oh no,
No, I haven't yet.
damn.
I mean, I need to make sure it works, but it's like I have to unhook my PC. I have to like set it down. I have to take out the graphics card, put the other one in, then rehook everything back up, and then wait for drivers and shit to install.
Yeah.
I'll probably do it one time when I'm like off for 2 days straight, just in case.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you remember when I got my like 6 terabyte fucking hard drives, right? Like, I think those sat waiting to be installed for like a good month and a half before I just finally got motivated enough to actually put them in.
Really?
I shit you not. And my motivation was the fact that, oh, my 4 terabyte drive that is actually 2 terabytes because I didn't like reformat the drive because Windows doesn't automatically recognize anything over 2 terabytes for whatever reason. Is almost full. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything positive happened in either of yours lives in the past couple weeks?
I'm getting a raise technically, but it's not a substantial amount, so I'm big sad.
Yeah.
I want more. I personally,
Fucking greedy
me, all my staff, and everyone in my same position who wants the same thing all believe that we deserve a bigger raise than what we're getting.
Yeah. You, me, and everyone else that works retail and fucking fast food places.
Mm-hmm. It's not the best thing, but at least it's work and I'm getting paid, so
At least in your case, you're getting paid well.
yeah. Well, I mean, so here's the other argument on the other side of that coin is that I'm being paid well, but not well enough in a sense.
I mean, you make about as much as teachers do, so if not more,
Depending on
depending
the
on the area.
district, yeah. But the other argument there is that my drivers, I've had at least four of them tell me that their last check was at minimum $400 more than mine. And of course, while that comes a lot from the tips and shit like that, it also comes from the fact that they're being worked like fucking slaves because we don't have any staff. So that is that.
So that 400 is like what, overtime hours, pretty much.
Some of it's overtime, some of it's just a shitload of tips, and at the end of the day, it makes me feel like shit because that is actually just possible in general if a driver works enough hours. Like even if they work under 40, but it's above like 35, it's still possible to make more than what a ASM makes at my job. And that's why a lot of people don't see the ASM position as like satisfying. It's like unless you know for a fact that they need you to go to ASM so they could fast track you up to an SM position, then there's almost no like incentive for it because really you get screwed out even more than the SM does.
So, I got a joke.
What's that?
What did the elephant say to the naked man?
I don't know. What did he say?
How do you breathe with that thing?
Nice.
People chilling in 3300 BC. Dude that's about to invent the wheel. Let's show these fuckers how we roll.
Are you just on fucking Instagram looking at memes now?
No, I'm on Reddit.
Fair.
I thought something smelled particularly cheesy.
What's the difference between a rim shot and a rim job? One goes but the other goes but kiss.
Whoa.
Oh god. Wow.
Terrible.
I don't know.
Absolutely awful.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's Burnout.
Oh
Ooh.
God.
A 3v3 map with 5v5 because we don't have another person on each side.
Show me a new legend. How
I,
about
s-
no?
I saw it start us up at 10 players and I was like, oh, we're already at this.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm not a hunter. Fuck. I tried the dodge.
I feel so bad for you. I've done that before. Yeah, they team clutched against me.
So, I don't know. Did we rant about the lie quest on any of the... I don't think we did.
I don't
Do
think we did because it
do
wasn't out yet.
do we want to give our little uh
So we're
tasty?
being leeches of the community by waiting for everyone else to actually do the community part of the quest, so that we can go ahead and not have to actually interact and help people out.
I've contributed a little bit.
Get out of my chat.
Sir, I created this. Thank you very much.
Fine, I'll leave your chat instead.
Whoa, no, please no. I need you for content. Anyways, I'll let you finish.
Sword going towards A. JJ, stop looking at the fucking rock.
I think he left the chat. Oh no.
Haha, I told you, bitch.
What the fuck is he thinking? Oh my god. Oh my god, dude.
Back.
Anyways, going back to the subject at hand. So the lie quest dropped for a old D1 gun known as Fellwinter's Lie, and as JJ has so gracefully let y'all know, we are being the assholes that just kind of sit and wait for the community part to be done, purely because the last like 5 community quest things that they've tried to fucking put in front of us have just fallen flat so hard, and it just keeps getting worse and worse.
I mean, the community events they put in front of us are either for random people to give streamers info so that the streamers get numbers, or it's just the most boring and monotonous thing.
Oh my
The
god.
most mind-numbingly possible thing you can think of for us to do.
Did
What?
y'all fucking see that?
What?
What?
So I went on a 4 kill piece, just shoulder charging everyone. I decided to be that dude.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking lovely, dude. They all just lined up for me. Anyways, Bungie decided that we should do 900 Seraph Tower events. Now, it's 900 in the fact that, considering that you might have 6 people there on the same event, that counts as 6 completions towards the community goal. So it's not just one completion of the event is 1 towards the whole goal, and it's therefore not horrible, but it's not great either. And so the community responded with a haha fuck that, because essentially the Seraph Towers event is not match made, and therefore you could be waiting in an instance for an hour, hour and a half or so, just for people to show up. The other aspect is that it's the end of the season, and everyone had to already grind this stupid fucking event for like the past 2 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
And finally Bungie was just like, okay, we see where the issue is. We will knock it down a little bit and make it a little bit easier. But like, even still, they should have just skipped the fucking step purely because I mean, just a week prior, they had Guardian Games, and part of Guardian Games was having just a shitload of people sit in fucking um, in the open world and just wait for people to show up for that thing so they could grind out fucking laurels.
Yeah.
Hammers in your A.
Um,
Do we want to talk about sunsetting and our feelings on it?
I think it's a great idea.
I'm mixed on it.
So
Personally.
essentially, what we're talking about is the idea of sunsetting weapons to basically enforce the point that changing a meta is good, and also that Bungie can get rid of certain things and not have to keep updating them, therefore creating more data space for it. It just
My issue with it is they have yet to make extremely interesting legendary guns
yeah.
in both design. Okay, in design at very least. And purples, they've made some interesting ones.
Right.
Like Recluse, Mountaintop, the season of the Dawn or Withy, the last season that had the grenade launcher that shot a line of fire out.
Yeah.
Bruh.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember its name. But yes, I do fully agree. There have been some interesting ones in terms of perk pools. And that was Season of Dawn. But at the same time, designs don't really mean anything. I mean, everyone was hyped up back in Season of Opulence for Ostringer, which was basically Isoluna 3.0 or some shit like that. But then it turned out to just be another okay hand cannon. What fucking exotic quest did you just get done?
I want to say Chaperone.
Because now it says Gambit kills.
Yeah, Chaperone.
We were a second away.
Personally, I think it's a good idea purely because it means that they can actually focus on making new guns and shit and don't have to worry about, say, oh my god, this dude's sitting in the corner with a fucking so anyways, it's refreshing to know that they'll have to eventually have a whole new set of guns made specifically for like everyone to use in a season, because at one point all the old guns are going to get sunsetted and only thing that's going to be old is exotics. So it's refreshing to know that at least the meta will change a little bit, just as it did in D1 when every time a new DLC came out, things got sunsetted until, Rise of Iron. But in the same stroke of that, it's pulling away some of our favorite guns and guns that we had to grind for, such as our Mountaintop, such as our Redrick's Broadsword, such as our Recluse, Luna's Howl, things like that, because those were a huge fucking grind, and those were at the very least the most interesting fucking legendaries that have come out of this stupid fucking game. And so no one wants to lose those, but those have been around for so long and we haven't had any new ones in such a while.
And they're also the problem children of the game as well.
Yeah, and they're also the problem children. So it's like, do you have the group of people that want to keep the problem children around because they're crutches, and then you have the group of people that want to give them up because they're tired of seeing them everywhere. And I personally have to be on the side of I'm tired of fucking seeing them. I'm tired of walking into Crucible and all I'm seeing is fucking Recluse and Mountaintop and Luna's Howl and fucking...
Where are you seeing Luna's Howl?
Oh, I see Luna's Howl in comp.
Really?
Yeah,
They're probably just doing the quest for Not Forgotten at that point then.
probably, but I see it quite often in comp.
I don't really see Luna's Howl all that much outside of comp, which just tells me it's strictly for Not Forgotten. But even then, you don't see Not Forgotten a whole lot.
But that's my thing is you'll find me in fucking comp. Like, I my go-to playlist is comp purely because I don't have to worry about all the hackers, the fucking assholes and everything, because all the people testing out their hacks and shit are going into the quick play playlist. Did we all get error coded?
I believe so. Honeydew is mine. What's yours?
I didn't check.
Sheo,
And
what was your error code?
it just sent me back to orbit. It didn't give me an error code.
Oh.
I am by myself now. Oof.
But Sheo. So. And Sheo's party lead.
I'm coming.
That's what she said.
God damn it. But it's just I love this game and I love where it could possibly go, but I hate that what it's become so far. And so as in the past my viewers would see me like whenever I just want to stream but I wouldn't know what like else to play, my go-to game was Destiny. Now it's like I would much rather find something else, and the only reason that I'm like okay with playing it, say now per se, is
We've taken a like month and a half hiatus.
we've taken such a long hiatus, and there's actually like a live quest that I want to see the end of soon. I know we weren't going to see it soon, but
I just want my shop package back.
I mean it's apparently back. It's apparently on the gun.
I mean, we're bringing back all the old shit from D1 that we kind of got rid of. So why not this? And also, while we're at it, bring back Pocket Infinity.
Yeah. I mean, why the fuck not? Exactly. But
And
I
I
heard
don't think they could really bring Hawkmoon back.
I heard an argument the other day for an old area that someone wanted to see remastered,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically said exactly what I was thinking when I heard that question being asked. Cosmodrome. It's basically in the fucking game.
But didn't, like, for lore reasons, they say that it's fucking quarantined?
I don't actually know because that's like I didn't give a
I
shit
wanna
on
say,
why we
like-
left it.
Because didn't we go back there for a quest? I believe.
We went back there for like 5 different quests is the thing, and that's exactly why I agree with the
No, there's a
person.
very specific one you went back there for.
I don't remember what it was for, but I want to say it was during some live event,
No,
like Revelry or some shit like that.
probably.
Um,
Oh no, it's back when the First Light had launched.
I know First Light they
I
start.
know that. I know what I'm saying. It's they redid how you obtain some of the weapons, and I believe you get a Risk Runner.
Yeah.
Back to there, and that's where they say that area has been quarantined off.
I did that quest, but I didn't pay attention to it just because I was like,
I think.
fuck this.
Oh, I forget who headed that quest, but they specifically tell you like Zavala quarantined the whole thing, and so you're really here unofficially. But, yeah. So.
I mean, at this point, the Cosmotron is in the game though, because how many times we have taken a visit over there, the first mission being in the game already, it's here. They just don't want to fucking reuse it for whatever reason, and
It's another Earth destination. Probably is the main reason.
they need to take the giant shard of the Traveler out of the EDZ, and then they won't have any point for us to be in the EDZ. Ah, shit.
I thought I shoulder charged. Oh, damn.
So we've been shitting on this and not really presenting any concrete like ways that they can improve it. Do we want to like give our little thoughts on what could be improved?
More better guns.
More better guns.
More better guns. There's two ERs at the end of both.
More better
Yes.
guns.
Yes.
Interesting.
I don't know. I want to see raid guns actually have a comeback in terms of like desirability.
I think the desirability of raid guns fell when they stopped doing like raid specific perks. Like the reason King's Fall weapons and Wrath of the Machine weapons were so cool was because King's Fall weapons had a specific perk to them, called Cocoon, where it reloaded while it was holstered, and all of them had it and could roll with some pretty other powerful perks. So that was like awesome. You wouldn't even have to worry about like reloading your gun sometimes. It was done for you.
Yeah.
But
I miss my Golden Terminus.
in the Wrath of the Machine side of things, they took some pre-existing perks and added new perks onto it that benefited from those pre-existing ones. So you had like triple tap, triple tap, and triple double, I believe, were the two.
Yeah. And then there was one with Firefly, wasn't there?
Something like that.
I think it was kills with Firefly cause more Fireflies, or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
They were ridiculously fun perks.
They were so cool, and I remember like specifically the scout rifle was fucking great with the triple double. Like
It was a boss melter.
when it first got introduced, it was both a boss melter and just insanely like crazy if you get the proc in PvP. And it's like wherever they went wrong with like the last few raids not getting perks of that nature, they need to go back on, I believe. Because I think you're 100% right. I think the whole reason raids aren't played as heavily as they used to be is because, one, they're not the actual in-game activity anymore. There's plenty of other things that are like higher in-game activities than they are.
That award just as good as loot.
Yeah, that reward just as good as loot with better like perk pools and stuff like that. And then there's also I mean, just the aspect of the guns just don't have anything interesting about them. I mean, there's no point for me to go in there for the armor, because the armor is just same old armor. It's cosmetic in effect and doesn't have anything special on it. And then there's no point for me to get the weapons either, when I can get something that has better base stats and then get also better randomly rolled perks.
Yeah, which, talking about cosmetic armor, brings my attention back to the transmog system they're introducing. That you can pay silver for. Granted, there's also a free option, but I'm assuming it's going to be kind of costly.
Yeah, they said the free option was going to be costly, but the other thing was is that they did say silver was going to be obtainable in game, apparently. Probably like in small doses or whatever. Probably something like you'll get 10 for doing a fucking bounty or some shit. But I mean, in that instance, it's just like, what else can you actually expect them to do? They still need to make some money, even though like.
But what they did back in D1 was actually pretty nice. Granted, I don't think they were making a lot of money off Eververse back then.
They really weren't, and now Eververse is like their go-to, because sure that the base game's free. The first 2 DLCs are free. All you really have to buy is Forsaken and Shadowkeep at this moment, and then whatever the current season is, and then you can play practically everything.
Yeah. Which they need to find a way to strike a balance between loot in Eververse and loot in the game. Because, like, Eververse has some pretty sick armor that drops in it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this season for the Warlock. Like, it's got a Gucci coat. Like, it looks like I went to the fucking Gucci store and I picked that shit up for...
The other thing is that ever since they took away the ability to just earn, like, the bright engram sort of things, naturally, you don't have the ability to get certain Eververse items like that anymore.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's not dropping current season stuff anyways.
Which is even more like of a slap in the face, because at least old Eververse, even with its problems, did drop current shit. So it's like you could at least get the most up-to-date shit. And it's like, as we've gone into before, Destiny 1 was like one of our most like life-changing games, because it brought like us together, it brought our group together, it started things, and stuff like this podcast wouldn't be happening because Destiny 1. But the issue becomes is Destiny 2 has just become such a shit show. It started off shit, it got better by Forsaken, but then it went back down. And another point that I was told about through some other medium was apparently Luke Smith and another like dev go back and forth on making like being heads on each DLC slash like main game. So that specific dev, I forgot his name, he was the head when of Taken King. Then Luke Smith made Rise of Iron. Then, or no, I think he did Taken King and Rise of Iron. And then Luke Smith did Base Destiny 2, and he did Forsaken, and then Luke Smith did Shadowkeep. And so it's kind of like been this rotating, like, whenever Luke Smith is mainly in charge, the game kind of goes to shit. Which brings up the argument of, is Luke Smith really what is needed for Destiny? It's because, well, yes, he has all this MMO experience on other prior games that he's worked on. It's obvious that he's veered away from that idea entirely.
I mean, having MMO experience means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Point and reference that Dark Knight I had in the last dungeon I did on 14.
Yep.
It's so easy to be a bad Dark Knight in that game. But, different game aside. There's a lot of systems, like, in a traditional MMO that just wouldn't work in 14, or in D2 anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, in how it's structured content-wise. Like, they're designed to make you lose all your gear during a expansion.
Right.
Replace it with other stuff. They're designed to allow you to easily get to the point where you can do that end game stuff, and you don't have to like RNG and farm stuff. I mean, you have to farm a little, but it's a grind.
Right.
And the other thing is, I was scrolling through Reddit earlier today. There's a whole thread in the fact that in your traditional MMO, armor and weapons and shit, they don't really matter. They're just stat icons. They're just pieces of gear that are there strictly for stats. They're not like how in D2 where they're both there for perks, cosmetic, and stats.
Right.
But more for the perks than it is the stats. So the armor and the weapons all differ greatly in terms of how they're treated compared to a traditional MMO.
I also think just the loot pool in general is just insanely large for what it is. and is like pulling from other MMOs, looking at Final Fantasy 14 per se. Well, it has a large loot pool. Everything is based off of levels, and also like what your item level is can also expand that. So per se, like leveling up to 80, you'll get items that are for 77s, like 78, 79, so on and so forth, that slowly progress you up higher into your item level as well.
Mhm.
But once you hit 80, you have a couple things that you can use, and then if you like the look of other stuff, you could use glamour and stuff like that.
Which is the system that's kind of coming to D2.
Yeah.
I
And
don't know how many restrictions will be on it though.
the issue that I'm seeing is that instead of only having a few armor sets per class, they have like 20 that you can achieve. And so instead of possibly only getting a certain gun from this one activity, I had the possibility of getting 5 different types of helmets, chest plates, arms, legs, class item, and then I can also possibly get said gun. And so it just, with such a large loot pool, people don't get the loot that they want in a relatively safe amount of time like they used to in D1, where if I walked into Wrath of the Machine, I knew I was only getting Wrath of the Machine stuff from it. If I walked in the Crucible, I knew I was getting only Crucible related stuff, and I had that small chance to get an Isoluna from it. It's like, if I walked in the Strikes, I knew I was getting a strike specific weapon, such as Tread Upon Stars. But now it's like I walk into a strike and I can get stuff from the EDZ drops, the Titan drops, the
So it's
IO
not so much
drops.
that there's a large loot pool, it's that the loot pool itself for playlist is oversaturated
Yes,
and not structured well.
exactly. I
Okay.
mean, hell, earlier if you saw, like, I'm pretty sure y'all got the same thing that I did, but I had like two legendaries, a prime engram, and like 3 blues. And 3 blues is just a normal thing now for fucking Crucible. So, like, if you don't get 3 blues, then there's something up. But like, getting 5 things at once and all of them being armor is just kind of insulting. It's like, maybe I wanted a fucking gun out of that shit. But there's so much armor in the loot pool, and the fact that, like, when you're at in-game fucking levels, you can still get blue armor that's not at in-game levels is also sort of offending. Like, and not just how in D1, if it happened, you got like one item of it. No, I'm getting 3 of them, and all of them are about 3 levels under my in-game level.
Yeah. Which that's kind of an issue with how the game's leveling content is structured.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wants to force you to grind for these pinnacle drops from doing an activity multiple times, or the tier 1s, tier 2s, tier 3s.
Mm-hmm.
And while it's okay, a lot of that is very monotonous and boring. Like, when was the last time we, like, legit ran strikes? Just for the whole bit.
The last time that I ran strikes, I don't even know, dude. But I remember back in D1, I ran so many of the fucking
You're about to touch on the point I'm about to make. Because Bungie, in their infinite wisdom, decided that nightfalls are the only things that should have loot specific to its strike.
and that happened back in D1 too, but it was like, it was first transitioning into that point. It wasn't at that point already.
But it's been like this for a while now, and they've yet to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't even done anything with the normal nightfalls. They just went all in with the ordeals.
Yeah. And it's fucking insane because now they have like 20 different versions of a nightfall that you can do. Some easier than the last, some not as easy as the last, some that you can customize yourself, but none of which anyone asked for.
Mm-hmm.
No one said, "Oh, I need a Nightfall that is so hard that I don't think I could actually beat it feasibly. That I would have to be the best player in the fucking game to beat this shit."
Yeah. Which, I mean, I get there's those people that like to speed run hard content and also do high scores,
Mm-hmm.
but there's really no reason to do high score runs. Absolutely none, because they don't guarantee you anything. Like, I
Right.
don't even think it guarantees you like the higher tier
If
or the
if you
strike
get
specific route.
if you get a high score once per week, you get the pinnacle drop from the Nightfalls, and that's it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not going to guarantee you the strike specific loot. It's
But
not going to do
it's like in the old days,
anything.
I remember we could load up fucking Undying Mind and just farm out Imago loops or farm until we finally got the Imago loop to drop. Or that we could load up the Shield Brothers and try and farm for a good Tread Upon Stars roll. It's like shit was fucking easy to do. And shit was good too because it was like even though there was an oversaturation of trying to get that loot and so many people in those playlists doing the same damn shit over and over again, at least we knew how to get our loot and that we didn't have to go through hell and back to get it. Versus nowadays, it's kind of like if you don't go through hell and back to get said loot, then was it really fucking worth it? At least that's the mindset that Bungie seems to be showing in that sense.
It's not even like these things are particularly powerful either. Hell, the new strikes. There's no strike specific loot in them. Not for Scarlet Key. Not for that one strike that came in. I think Shadow Key it was, or with that one exotic.
Um,
It takes place on Aya, I believe.
you're talking about the Festering Core.
Yeah, that one.
Like that one had so much potential too, because it was also another one of those little setups for Savathun controlling the Taken and shit. And there was like nothing special about it. It had nothing to do with the story of the fucking Shadowkeep or any of that. It just the like story wise made no sense, and then game mechanic wise, it was just another activity to throw in with nothing special about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of the reason why I hate where this game has gone. It's like we just keep getting these fucking items like right here. Two fucking what's that? Two legendaries, three blues. All of them weapons.
Oh. Oh, lucky you! I got 3 blues and some materials.
But it's like only one of them is decent enough to keep, but all of them are 3 under where I need them to be. Or not where I need them to be, but where my power maxes out at.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I just reset my Valor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, the banners that pop up. There's so many, and they
Yep.
stay on the screen for so long.
I'm about to reset my Valley right now. And
You too?
yep. I love how Sheo hasn't said a word for like the last 20 to 30 minutes.
You want to pour some salt on the wound too, Sheo?
I have no opinion because the things that y'all are talking about I don't really care about or know about.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really say anything.
Uh,
I mean, but you could still add to like what you think would improve the game because I did ask that question a while back and you didn't have a answer to that. Mind you, I did go on a tangent from there too.
Like the only thing would be add actual content, not fucking reskins. Make your guns more meaningful, have new abilities, and not just on exotics. Add a new class or some shit. They need to add something new because just a lot of fucking recycled garbage that they keep shoving down your throat with a different name.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't even think they need to focus on, oh, bringing in new systems to go and do with what we already have. No, you need to make new things, because people have been playing the same classes, same type of guns. Like, I can literally go and throw on like Ace of Spades, Better Devils, and let's just toss in Rose. And for the most part, they literally all look and feel the same with just different texture. But when you throw in like Thorn has a drastically different like sight, and the kickback kicks in a different way from a normal hand cannon. And the ability itself, like where it goes and starts taking damage, like that's something unique. So they need to do more things like that if they want to continue doing the game. They can't just reskin things and give you more shit. That's my problem with the, what did you call it? Sunset thing?
Sunset.
Yeah, is that where they like take away guns that are like
So they're
old?
not taking them away.
Okay.
What they're doing is they're doing what they did in D1, where they cap the power you can infuse them up to.
Oh, okay.
And so going into future content that's at a higher power, you're not really going to be able to take it into endgame content. You can still go into like general PvP, into competitive, all that with it.
You can still go
Because
into...
those are not light level enabled.
Right, and you could still take like your favorite hand cannon from right now and go into the like Garden of Salvation raid and like by next year and still use it perfectly fine. It's just the idea is that you won't be able to use it in the newer content.
Yeah. So my thing about that is I feel like all they're gonna fucking do with it is just literally retexture the fucking same guns they've been retexturing, and then say, "Here's your new guns."
I mean, that's essentially all they really do, though, is the issue. And the only time you ever feel a gun that actually feels unique in any way, shape, or form is through an exotic. But what Bungie needs to understand is that exotic shouldn't be the only thing that's unique. I should feel a legendary that feels really unique and that I can basically exchange for an exotic. It shouldn't be to the power of an exotic. So don't get me wrong when I say that it should be unique. I'm not saying in terms of power. I'm just saying in terms of like viability. But an exotic is what it is. It is powerful and unique. A legendary should at least be unique. It shouldn't be just another reskin of the same old weapon. As you were saying before with the example of like Rose and Ace of Spades and whatever else you
That's a
said.
Thorn.
Thorn. I mean, if you take off what makes them look different on the outside, they essentially almost fire the same, almost look the same. Like they have so much similarities that it's like you're firing the same gun. And sometimes you'll even hear, if it's not an exotic weapon and you're firing, say, one legendary hand cannon, it might sound like exactly like another legendary hand cannon.
Yeah.
Only when it's exotic does it have a different sound. And that also just takes the suspension of like belief out of it, because sure, I could be firing a Rose, but when it sounds like an Austringer, then do I really think I'm firing a Rose? Do I really think I'm firing an Austringer? It's like Recluse has its own kind of sound to it compared to some of the other fucking things. So it's like they were doing right with the pinnacle weapons for a while, but somewhere along the way they just started lacking.
Well, the pinnacle weapons started to become a problem because they're these unique legendary guns with these extremely powerful and synergistic perks.
Right, and that
So they break certain aspects of the game. Like Recluse is still good for active.
I mean, I've been literally using Mountaintop and Recluse this game and proving to everyone exactly what you're saying. It's like I went on when the game first like this match first started. I went on a 3-kill spree with just Recluse.
Yeah, that's why I was punching you earlier when we were capping. See, I saw the recluse on your back and the mountaintop in your hand. I'm like, you disgusting motherfucker.
Well, I did it to prove the point that
Yeah,
these two weapons are what makes Crucible and other in-game activities, for that matter, just unbelievably unbearable.
I don't think. Well, I see mountaintop occasionally. I still see recluse occasionally. But it's Revoker that's the fucking asshole child of all of them.
Yeah, like at this very moment, Revoker is the issue, and there's no good fix to it because it's such a unique weapon that is at the same time powerful. And once again, it takes the things that I just said about needing something unique but not super powerful, and just saying screw that. We're gonna make an exotic but with legendary skin. And
My only issue is Bungie has like Destiny is like the antithesis of Borderlands in a sense when it comes to looter shooters. Because Destiny is, I won't say trying to be balanced, but it's not the like overpowered broken builds that and really flashy guns that Borderlands tends to have. Because I mean, Borderlands 3 I played for a little bit on Flak, especially. Oh, he was broken with a Doom shotgun in that game.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a straight crit build because every crit would reload the gun. And then on top of that, that gun does a ridiculous amount of damage. And so it's like, it would melt bosses in seconds.
Right.
Bungie doesn't want their game to be like that. They want it to be more probably along the lines of like WoW or 14, but kind of on the light side, on the toned down side when it comes to like heavy grinds and shit like that, because they want RNG. They want that looter shooter aspect,
but like so the other thing that just kind of irks me about things like the fact that they don't want their game to get to that point is that they take away parts of the game that are just fun. I mean, for instance, they took away what made Whisper of the Worm so great, because it was basically Black Hammer and fucking Black Spindle combined, and then times fucking 20. It was great, and it fucking melted bosses, but then they fucking nerfed it so that it didn't just give you the ammo out of fucking thin air, and then it became like the third best gun in the game in terms of DPS on bosses. But even still, when there's a better option, everyone's gonna grind out for that better option. Everyone's gonna use the better option.
Yeah.
And then with fuck, what is it called? Worldline Zero. Worldline Zero was like awesome. It was the epitome of speedruns in raids, and to see people complete a raid in like 5 minutes was like insane to first ever just witness like those numbers. But then they got rid of it, and now the actual like fastest anyone can do it is maybe 20 minutes, purely because they didn't want people, you know, fucking running through their fucking game. And it's like, it didn't break anything at all. It literally just created speedrunning. It was, how fast can we complete this thing? And it's almost like they take certain things like that and just see them as like personal offenses. Like, people found a little break in their game, and then they get offended by it, and that's why they actually fucking take care of it. I mean, to me, it's the only thing that explains why they try so hard to get rid of the fun aspects of the game. They talk about how they play their own game, but half the time I have to wonder, do they actually? Because do they actually are if they do too, are they thinking of it from a player's perspective or are they thinking from a dev's perspective? Because if they're thinking from a dev's perspective, half the time some of these things that we complain about aren't an actual concern to them, and other half of the time, things that we love are a big problem for them.
Oh god.
What happened?
I don't know how they got that howl so fast, because they capped B and C like super fast, as if their team was there.
Mm. But that's kind of the issue, because they probably work so much that, in a sense, they probably don't get a whole lot of time to play the game and see
Right.
it as like a player that can sit down for 2-3 hours and actually play it
Mm-hmm.
would see it. They probably don't see it from the hardcore streamer's perspective that can sit down for the day of DLC launches for the next 36 hours and just push through the content.
Mm-hmm.
They see it from someone who has a full-time job that can realistically probably maybe spend 8 hours a week playing the game, which, to be honest, isn't a whole lot. That's like an hour and 10 minutes a day.
Right.
Which, for a game like Destiny, you can get the Strikes Pinnacle done and all the like little checklist stuff done in that time. But you're probably not gonna do a lot of the end-game content until halfway through the season or more.
Right. Oh, and the biggest fucking offense to me, in the aspect of what I was talking about earlier, is the like nerf to Izanagi's burden. It's like, sure, Izanagi's was the epitome of you need this to basically go into a raid, but it was nothing like people weren't accepting the shit. Like it was nothing like how vanilla D1 was, where if you didn't have a fucking Galahorn and if you didn't have Vex Mythoclast, you didn't have all these other things, you weren't allowed into a raid group. It's not like that. People will still fucking take you through if you don't have those things. But they still wanted to nerf the gun purely because it tore through their game. And so that's what I mean when I say, like, it seems like when they see a gun that can do hella damage like that, they take it as an offense that people found out it can do this thing, and then they nerf it so that it doesn't do that to their game. It's taking something that shouldn't be so personal, very personal, and making it hell on your players in return.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're getting up to our time marker, I decided to pull us out of Iron Banana.
It's all good. I've had my fair share of ranting, so if y'all want to throw in your final thoughts on it, go ahead real quick, because I've talked my piece.
This fall, coming to a cemetery near you, Destiny.
I mean,
I don't know.
I dead ass don't know how many times I said fucking in each of those sentences.
I don't know. I'm not going through the trouble of putting a counter up, though, because fuck that.
It's probably somewhere over 200.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Destiny is a game we love and want to see flourish and succeed. But the devs need to get their heads out of their own asses.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, Sheo?
People said that this game was going to be great, if they were going to make it like the best fucking version of Destiny ever once they pulled away from Activision. So far, I'm still unchanged in my tone. Destiny needs help. So if you could put your credit card numbers in below.
And just subscribe to my OnlyFans.
All profits we get on this video from you guys will go straight to the Bungie Foundation and attached to it, the $2 that we will probably put in ourselves will say, "Get your shit together, Bungie." Just in tiny, tiny little letters on the note. A little sticky note.
I was talking about the John Wick joke. John Wick needs your help in Fortnite. If you can put down the
Oh,
credit card
I knew what
number.
you were talking about.
Yeah, but I'm not kind enough to send any money towards Bungie.
Right.
I don't know. I've given them probably close to $1,000 in Eververse funds, so
It's okay. They have enough.
They've had enough of your money.
no, they want it all, but I've given them enough at this point.
God.
So is this what we're
It's
going
like-
to see at the next meeting?
Pretty much. I mean, I've had my fair share of shitting on a game that I just want to see succeed. So, with that, guys, I think we're all very tired and very exhausted, and we all need sleep. So, we'll go
Just
ahead.
salty at this point.
We're also very salty. Don't get me wrong.
I've been tired since the first 10 minutes we started this bitch.
I could tell you were tired like 20 minutes before we started this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But someone said, get on the call. We'll talk.
Boy.
We'll brainstorm. And
I,
then we ended
I
up
said
doing
brains. I said brainstorm. You said, should we just go ahead and do it? And I was like, well,
No.
yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No.
You said you just want to go ahead and do it, and then JJ came up with a brainstorm. He was like, well, let's just fucking play the game and then do it.
Gang, choo-choo train. We need to do a podcast. Oh, you free today? I'm free right now. Do we have any ideas? Let's brainstorm. And then you proceed to fucking call me on Discord.
I only called.
You free
I only
today,
called you
saying
on. I only called you on Discord because I saw you were on it right after I said that. I gave it like 3 minutes, saw you were
But I
already on
said
Discord, and went,
you-
okay.
I said, you free today, not now. And he said, I'm free now. And then we got in this mess. But it's all gang,
it was
choo-choo train.
not my idea to do the podcast right now. My idea was just to brainstorm, but
Hey, I think it turned out okay.
you always say that.
I'm just saying. There's enough salt in here that I could sell it to McDonald's and be a rich man.
Oh,
Well, no, probably not McDonald's. Probably Wendy's. McDonald's doesn't actually put any fucking salt in their fries.
Yeah.
They
Well-
barely even fucking cook them.
with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed our long rants about how things are tough in life and
Oh, wait,
games
we're
are
supposed to
shitty.
talk about life.
we'll see you guys in the next meeting.